I, female 36, found out that my husband had been having an affair with this woman for a year. She got pregnant, and my husband wanted to keep it and stay with me after he redeemed himself. And because we wanted kids but couldn't have them, he was able to convince me to give our marriage a second chance to work. Also, since those fertility issues were on my side, I felt guilty for not being able to give him kids. It was really hard on me to adjust, but after I became Adam's legal parent, I felt relieved and like we were all a family. Adam's bio-mom disappeared as she wanted nothing to do with him, according to what my husband said. Adam's now a young child. He unfortunately developed a medical condition that's rapidly getting worse. He's at the hospital most of the time and there isn't much we could do other than keep his condition stable. He got admitted to the hospital days ago. I'm constantly worried and afraid of losing him all of a sudden after I put so much effort into making the family stable again. 2 days ago, my husband brought up Adam's bio-mom and told me he told her about him being in the hospital. I was shocked when I heard this and infuriated. I told him why he told her, why he was in contact with her at all, and he said she heard from a mutual friend about Adam and has been begging to come to visit him at the hospital. I blew up at him after he asked me to arrange a visit for her and told him that she was never his mom, I was, and her presence will only confuse him and worsen his condition. He told me that she's Adam's bio-mom and will always be, and that I was being cruel by denying her a visit. He asked that I consider it, but I refused. Yesterday he came to the hospital and brought her with him. I don't know what I felt when I saw her, but all I can say was that I couldn't handle it. I started telling them to back off. He tried to get me to calm down, but I yelled for security, who eventually escorted both of them because my husband wasn't backing off. I got inside the room and started crying. I was in full panic mode. I called Mom to come to stay with me and she stayed there all night. I got home in the morning and my husband was there waiting. He picked an argument with me about how I behaved at the hospital and had me listen to a recording of Adam's bio-mom begging me to let her see him. I still refused and blocked all his attempts to get me convinced. I returned to the hospital and he told my family about what had happened. Some are on my side, but others think I'm being unfair and cruel to deny this woman a visit. Am I the idiot for standing my ground? Not the idiot. She abandoned her son years ago. She doesn't get to come back and confuse him now when he's sick. Also, your husband is still in contact with her. The fact that they spoke on the phone and that he brought her to the hospital was completely disrespectful, considering he had an affair with her. Honestly, at this stage I would consult a divorce lawyer. I would also bring paperwork to the hospital stating you are his adoptive parent and that she signed her rights away, and that you wanted to be put on the block list. She has no rights over him or to see him. I agree with everything you say, but the more I think about it, the more I get a sinking feeling that maybe, just maybe, the bio-mom and Adam have already met. And that's why the dad dismissed Opie's concerns about confusing him. If the husband and bio-mom have continued to be in contact, what if the dad just brought the kid along on one of his visits to introduce them and let them hang out together? It sure would keep bio-mom on his hook. I wouldn't even put it past that idiot to swear the kid to secrecy so he could meet with this woman. We already know he's a habitual liar and a cheater. I do wonder about that. Given the husband's behaviour, I wonder if bio-mom just walked away or if she was coerced. Opie is not wrong and only has her son's best interest in mind. But once a lawyer is brought on board, it might be a good thing to have the lawyer reach out to bio-mom to confirm details, but only because the hubs clearly cannot be trusted. At all. And having a family health history from bio-mom could be important. But beyond that, it should 100% be up to OP, who has access to her son even if it means no access. We assume she abandoned him, but we only have the husband's word on that, and why are we trusting anything he says after all this drama? It wouldn't surprise me if the two of them had some agreement in place so he could keep playing happy families with OP while sneaking around behind her back. This whole situation smells suspicious to me. Some backstory. I have 3 kids, Daisy, a young teen female, Eva, a teen female, and Dorothy, 25 female. They used to get along great, then Daisy got a cat for her birthday and Eva hated him. I think she's scared of him, but she refuses to admit it, so she used it as an excuse not to have much of a relationship with her sister. She's been more distant from the rest of the family in order to distance herself from her sister and her cat. My husband also dislikes the cat, but he doesn't let it affect his relationship with his family. My husband and I were at our friend's birthday party last week. We were supposed to be out late and Daisy and Eva were home alone. Eva was taking the family dog out and Daisy's cat was trying to play and was swiping at her feet. Eva called Daisy to get her stupid cat away and told her what the cat was doing. Apparently, Daisy took her time to get there, then laughed, called the cat a good boy and gave him a treat. Daisy denied it, but it sounds like something she'd do. This sparked an argument between the two, and Eva kept cursing the cat out. She knows this hurts Daisy, and Daisy retaliates by cursing her out. Eva responded by telling Daisy that she doesn't love her and hasn't for a long time. She hates her. She's excited for the day she gets to move out and never speak to her or see her again. This deeply hurts Daisy because family is extremely important to her, and Dorothy lives nearby but never asks her to hang out and only speaks to her a couple of times a year, which is already very hard on her. Then, to rub salt on the wound, she grabbed a treat, called the cat's name and threw the treat outside. The cat chased it and Daisy spent over an hour looking for her cat. Eva called my husband and told him about their argument, and Daisy called me and told me what Eva did with the treat, so we had to leave early. When I got home, I grounded Eva because she escalated the argument by cursing the cat out, then hurt her sister by going on that spiel about how she hates her. But my husband ungrounded her and said that Daisy should be punished for laughing and giving the cat a treat when he was trying to scratch Eva. Daisy asked if anything was going to happen to Eva for what she said and did, and Eva yelled that she meant everything. I told Eva that she ruined my weekend and not to speak to me. My husband took her side and has slept on the couch since, and Eva hasn't spoken to Daisy or me since the argument. Last night I found my husband helping Eva pack and get her important documents out of the safe. When I asked what he was doing, he said Eva would stay with Dorothy. I told him Eva wasn't going anywhere, but he ignored me and went back to packing. Eva is gone now and my husband is still on the couch. Am I the idiot for telling my daughter not to speak to me? Whoa. You're telling us that the teenage daughters got into a fight, and by the end of the day, your husband aided Eva in packing to go live with her sister, and she left to do so, and there was no summit between the parents to discuss this? It sounds like your daughters communicate with each other as well as you and your husband do, which is to say, not very well. Your family's falling apart. Let go of your pride and start working on this. Until then, you are the idiot. Yes, you are the idiot. Why are your children's relationships with each other and you so fractured? Why is your relationship with your husband so broken? There are much bigger problems in your family than a cat. If you genuinely believe it's all down to the cat, maybe the problem is you. It's not about the cat. Whatever precipitated this situation was brewing for a long time, and it all came to a head that evening. The real truth will come from Dorothy. If Dorothy is not interested in having a relationship with Daisy, then I'm just going to say there's a common thread somewhere. Even when the husband is helping a child pack, there's some favoritism and excuse-making going on in that home. I bet Mom doesn't listen to anybody when it comes to Daisy. One kid is already out of the house, at her age normal, and not speaking to Mom, not normal. Now the next one got away, and Dad helped because, as the previous poster said, it's been brewing a long time. Who wants to bet her husband runs out the door next? How much do you want to bet the husband is waiting to file for divorce until either the middle daughter turns 18, so there will be no chance the middle daughter will have to stay with OP, or until the youngest daughter can tell the court she wants to live with OP, so he doesn't have to get custody? Seriously, instead of OP rehoming the cat, OP's husband decided it would be better to rehome Eva. There's a lot to unpack there. They need therapy. The worst part about this is that Daisy will eventually grow up, mature, and realize her siblings hate her, and OP enabled the situation in the first place. All my friends have different policies as a designated driver. Some don't drink at all, some have a couple of drinks early but then stop so they're sobered up by the time we leave. Everyone is responsible and we all trust each other. Last night was my night, and my buddy brought his new girlfriend to meet everyone. I picked them up along with everyone else and drove us all to the bar. If I drink on my driving night, I usually order my drink really early, so I know it will be done by the time we're halfway done with the night and completely out of my system by the time I start driving. Technically, I can get behind the wheel right after drinking a beer and be under the legal limit in my weight class, but the timing buffer makes me more comfortable. I ordered my drink and then walked back over to the group. When the new girlfriend saw me, she asked what I was drinking and I told her. She got upset and asked how we were all going to get home. I assured her it would be out of my system by the time we left. She was still upset and asked me not to drink it. I already paid for it, so I just shrugged and apologized. She stormed out. My friend followed her and they wound up leaving in an Uber. My friends all reassured me, but the rest of the night felt awkward. Am I the idiot? Should I give my drink to someone else to make her more comfortable? I texted my friend to ensure we were cool, but he hasn't answered. Not the idiot. Having been in a situation where I watched my designated driver get progressively intoxicated all night, I get why she was spooked. She doesn't know you well enough to trust you're not going to keep drinking. I think you should clarify with everyone when you agree to drive that you plan to have one drink. But people calling you an intoxicated driver for having one drink and driving a few hours later are ridiculous. Even Dare wasn't that dramatic. You are the idiot. If I'm the designated driver, I don't drink anything with alcohol. It's not that I couldn't have one drink and be okay to drive, but to me, it's just part of the job I agreed to do. This is not about how unaffected your driving skills are or how your friends are okay with it based on years of experience and trust. As the designated driver, you ensure a safe way home for everyone, which you compromise by drinking and asking someone who only just met you to trust your instincts. Update. My friend finally texted me back. He said he was sorry for dropping off the earth, just dealing with stuff. My poor friend. He was so sad, but yeah, so when they left the bar, they started fighting. She was mad he never mentioned most of our group, like 2/3 are women, but we're all teachers, so it feels like she should have known that. She asked why he spends every week going to bars drinking with a bunch of floozies. They started getting loud, so he ordered the Uber. Then they went back to his and fought some more, and then she broke up with him and left. Apparently she called our whole group a bunch of names. I feel bad about his girlfriend, but he said it's probably for the best. I think he can do better, personally. So my half-sister and I have the same dad and different mums. She's a teen, I'm 31. My sister's mum remarried last year and her husband has 2 daughters. So they are her stepsisters, but not mine. I'd planned something for me and my sister, a vacation only for us sisters. About 2 weeks before, her mum called me and asked if I was willing to take her 2 stepsisters. They're teens. She said they haven't been on vacation for a long time, they're really jealous, and are giving her a hard time. She can't take them on vacation because their finances are very tight, and it's really unfair to the other kids that my sister gets to go on a vacation right now. I said no, and my reasons were that I don't know these kids. I can't be responsible for them. Also, money-wise, I couldn't double my budget for 2 extra people. This was also something for my sister and me. I wasn't planning on taking 3 kids on vacation. This would completely change the experience. I didn't even take my husband because I wanted it to be just for my sister and me. Anyway, my sister and I had a great time and we're back. Her mum called me again and told me that the other kids were heartbroken by my actions. I've only met these kids 2 or 3 times. I don't know what was expected of me here. She said I was heartless and mean, and I could have made it work for all of them. She said this would have also gone a long way for my sister to bond with her stepsisters, although I generally expected that would be her responsibility as their parent. I'm so taken back by her phone call that I'm questioning whether I've been the idiot in this situation. Am I the idiot for refusing to take all 3 of them? Not the idiot. Here, take my kids on vacation, pay for it yourself because I can't afford it, and take responsibility for 2 extra teenagers while you're at it. That's absurd. Your sister is your sister. Her stepsisters are kids you've known for like a year. Of course you shouldn't be expected to pay to take teenagers you hardly know on vacation. If OP's sister's mom offered to pay for the other 2 kids to go, it would be less unreasonable, but it would still be 100% reasonable for OP not to want to take near strangers on vacation. I don't know what world OP's sister's mom lives in where a person would take kids half her age, who she met once or twice on vacation, and pay for it herself. This is your vacation, not free babysitting. You did a wonderful thing for your half-sister, but you didn't have any obligation to do it, and you certainly have no obligation to do it for someone you've barely met. And that's basically like me going down to my random next block neighbour, telling them they should be taking my children on vacation. Just wow. I'm a 19-year-old South Asian female, and in my culture the groom's family wears the same colour as the groom on his wedding day. We have multiple, and the same goes for the bride. My cousin, 24 male, is getting married, and as he only has one brother, my 2 brothers and I will be matching with him since we were raised as siblings. He's wearing white and gold. His brother, father and my brothers will all be wearing white suits, and I will be wearing a white dress. My aunt is also wearing a white dress, but it's a different style to me. The bride and her family will be wearing red at this event, so I won't be similar to them. At work, I showed my friend my dress, and a co-worker walked past, looked at the dress picture and started the whole spiel about not wearing white to other people's weddings. I explained to her the bride was wearing red and that even then we can still wear the same color as the bride and that it's different in my culture. However, she called me cold-hearted and still insisted I would be taking the bride's spotlight. Trust me guys, even if a guest shows up in red like the bride, they wouldn't be able to match her unless they purposely spent hundreds on a bridal dress and jewels. I just laughed at her. Still, she and other people who agree with her are saying I'm cold-hearted to laugh at someone who is trying to save me embarrassment at a wedding. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your co-worker is ignorant and seems to believe that everyone on this earth follows the same traditions. How obnoxious to insert Western traditions into a situation where they do not belong. Wear your white dress. Alas, while trying to be socially sensitive on your behalf, your co-worker was being culturally insensitive. You're more familiar with the rules for this wedding, so don't worry about their accidentally bad advice. If they can't learn from their mistakes, laughing at them is fine. It drives me insane when someone won't accept a 4-second explanation. Yeah, weddings aren't like that in my culture, it's totally different. The next sentence out of a co-worker's mouth should be complimenting the outfit. She was a know-it-all without checking the customs of the people going to the wedding.